What's happening? Zach here. Welcome back to the Zach B podcast, where we talk all things real estate. Today we have a special guest for you, Kevin Edsall. Kevin, how you doing today, bud?
Hey, things are great. Thanks for having me, Zach.
Yeah, man, of course. I wanted to get you on here for a minute now, but now I finally got you here.
Here I am.
I'm excited. I really am. So, for those watching, people listening in, who is Kevin? Like, what are you from this area originally? What's the deal?
No, man. So I did a full career in the military, specifically the Navy, Special Operations and Intel.
Really?
And
I didn't know that.
you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
No.
For real.
Yeah,
I
so
did not know that.
did a career. As I was transitioning out, I thought about what I wanted to do and reflected back on the times that all my moves and getting in and out of rentals, doing a couple closings on properties, and just felt like real estate is something that I could help other people with. I really dive deep into looking at the contracts and making sure that things are as they should be. So I felt like I had something to offer.
Okay, so that initial thought of real estate, was it just you renting and all that, or what drove you to, this is what I'm going to do?
No. So my very first start over.
You're good.
My very first transaction with buying a property was when I moved to Virginia Beach.
Okay.
I moved to Virginia Beach in 2005 from Guam. My wife was pregnant.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we were expecting a child in about a month and a half. We wanted a property, found a place in Virginia Beach that we really liked. We put an offer in, went back, hung out with our family in Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
To answer your question from before. And then we waited. And the realtor, we kept in communication with them every single day. And finally, he went out and beat down the door for the seller, who was also the listing agent.
Okay.
And found out that she had just kept it open, waited for another offer to come in that was, more appropriate for her needs and desires, and they went with that without telling us.
That's crazy.
So then he and his wife went out the next weekend, found a property, helped us out putting in an offer while we were not even in the state. And that's the one we lived in for the next until we had to move again.
Okay, so I'm guessing that initial transaction was something you were like, I think I would enjoy doing this as well.
No, at the time I didn't even think about it.
Okay.
I was focused on my next job and making it through, a few more years in the military. I was only about 10, 12 years into it, so nowhere near ready to think about transitioning out.
Okay, 100%. So that was your first interaction. When you decided to get your license, what was the thinking process? What were you thinking it was going to be like when you first initially started getting your license and doing real estate?
So I started thinking about real estate more or less back in 2018, 2019. I thought about just investing.
Okay.
And then 2019, I went through a transition program that the Navy had. And that's where a few weeks into it, I was like, real estate is probably what I would like to do. It got me out of the office. It got me interacting with people, get me excited about helping people in their home buying process or selling their home. A home is one of their biggest purchases, or, it's a big emotional roller coaster, either selling a home or buying a home. And I just wanted to help someone go through that process who may be coming from out of the area like I did on my first property, or maybe they're trying to leave the area. Military sometimes makes it very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a week's notice where, hey, you got to find another place in another area of the world.
I don't know how to do it.
No.
You did it though, right? So I bet you've gone through that experience
about 18
yourself.
times.
Yes.
Over my career.
Is that I want to say the group of people you enjoy working with the most is the moving military? Or is that just something you were drawn to just because, or is that just how it happens?
I'm just very familiar with that whole process.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to help whoever needs help. Like you don't need to have a military affiliation. No, I've lived in this area more or less for 20 years.
Okay.
And, my neighbors, relatives, lots of people have no affiliation with the military.
Okay.
And,
but
they still need help.
100%.
And in the home buying process or selling, it's, it's almost the same for everybody. It's just military has a couple of extra layers in there if they're moving from the area to the area, using the VA to help them buy the
100%. Now I'm guessing that was your thinking when you first started to now, right? You've been doing it for what, 2-3 years now?
Almost 2.
Okay. So you've been doing it for 2 years. That thinking, that process, is that the same as now, or have some things changed looking at real estate and being an agent compared to when you first started, do you think, for you personally?
How do you mean?
So, for example, when I first started, you're high energy. You're like, oh, I'm going to start, and you're instantly selling houses. And now, once I've started, I'm realizing, okay, I spend just as much time showing houses as finding that next, person to help. So my mentality from beginning to, I would say now, has changed from, oh, I'm going to just step in the shoes and roll, to, okay, now you do have to put the time and effort in to what you're doing. So like you had mentioned how when you first started, a thing that somewhat drove you was helping, the people moving, because people move a lot, especially military, right? Is that still the driving force behind the real estate? Or is it sort of like, okay, the money's nice too, but is that still our main focus? Is, I'm helping, but in particularly the one driving force is helping those people who are moving from in-state, out-of-state.
Yeah, for me, it's never been about the money. Fortunately, with a career in the military, I have a backup to finances. But for me, getting the satisfaction to help someone, it's not go out and put an offer down on the first property you find. It's
100%.
Let's find something that works best for you and your family, that meets your needs, but is also like a sanctuary for you when you come home from work, or, you have that day on the road, you come home and you can take the load off as soon as you open the door. Like, it's that sort of
I got it.
Like purchase that really makes me
feel good when you go home.
Good.
Okay, 100%. And with we had mentioned me being in real estate officially 1 year as of January coming up, and then you're coming up on 2 years. What do you think? How do you think experience impacts real estate? So let's say a great example is, let's say you're doing a listing appointment, right? And the other agent on the other side of the listing appointment trying to get it as well is 20, 30 years experience. How much do you think personally that experience impacts it, or if you're new to the game so you're more updated, which one do you feel
so
experience wise?
Real estate agents and realtors in the area, I have found out that not many of them are active, and the fact that they've had their license longer doesn't equate to more experience.
I love that.
After I helped someone buy their first property, I got a letter in the mail from the local MLS saying that I was in the top 40% of realtors in the state. And it wasn't a high value property, but that's just how inactive, like some people just have a license to have a license, or they have a full-time job and then they moonlight as a realtor.
So do you think when you're helping someone, should they dig deep into it instead of just taking it at face value? I mean, some people, you meet with them and you build that rapport, but how do you think it's more value to a client to dig into who you are, who you work for? Or what do you think about that scenario?
Oh, yeah. So I think it's great to have an interview with the potential realtor that you want to work with. And they also are interviewing you to see if they want to work with you.
Okay.
It's
a lot of people don't know that.
It's a 2-way street. you got to be a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have too much going on to be a realtor helping, like people work nights.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be available during the day. Not everyone can do that. Some
100%.
people have kids and need to take them to events during the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
where the clients, that's the only time they have because
Mm-hmm.
they're working out of town or they're working,
Yeah,
10 plus
9 to 5,
hours each day throughout the week.
100%.
And they're now looking for a new place to live on the weekend. So, you gotta, and sometimes personalities just don't mesh.
Yes.
And if you find a realtor who, initially is like calling you and sending you properties, and then all of a sudden they're ghosting you,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
Like, they need to be there to help you throughout the whole process. It's not just find you a property and then submit an offer and they're done. That's just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You have to meet, you have to find an area and some properties that you like. And once you submit an offer and it's ratified, like, it could be 30 or more days that you are sitting there, home inspections and making sure that your lender is set up with your finances. And you, at that time, you cannot purchase a car, get another credit card, get another phone.
That's yes.
And if your realtor's not there, like, guiding you through that part of the process, you might find at the end of, like, when you're ready for closing, you can't get the house anymore.
100%. 100%.
So that's what the realtor's there for.
Yes.
Like, be your resource
So it's not
throughout the
always
whole
experience.
process.
So it's not always experience.
It's
Then, with
not.
that said, because I don't know about you, but I feel like there may be some realtors that they almost bite off more than they can chew sometimes. Correct? Where you're setting up a showing, or you want to, you either want to sell a person's house or show a house for somebody to buy. If that realtor's so busy, they don't have time to respond, right? So if you're number 37 on their client list, you may not be, as cared for as maybe a newer agent. Is that something you would agree with, or what do you think?
Well, some people are all about the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
like how many houses they sell in a given month or
Mm-hmm.
a given year, and other people, like, it's clients first.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own motivation,
100%.
and so, it could be that someone's sells a lot of properties,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also very personable, and
Mm-hmm.
they, however it works out, where they're there for you every step of the way, whether they sell one house a year or, one house a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they're there for you, then they're there for you.
100%. 100%. We had talked a little bit about the client meshing. What are some, I ask, normally when I have other agents, I ask, what are some things you do that's helping you find those clients? Or is it all sphere-based? Is it some, maybe some open houses? What are some stuff that you do to get those clients?
You just have to go out and meet people,
Right.
whether it's through open houses or phone calls
Mm-hmm.
or, at events,
Mm-hmm.
kids events or, local community events. If
Is that how
if
you've
you
gotten your
are
clients?
if you are a secret agent,
Mm-hmm.
you're not out there
I love that.
helping people.
You heard that? No secret agents. I like that a lot. Okay. So, were your first, I'm just curious, was your first clients friends? Was it people you knew, I'm guessing? Or was it sort of like a somewhat cold outreach where you either ran into them from an open house or, like, which way? Because a lot of people I find are either sphere-based or coincidence. Which one?
So
Controlled coincidence, but still coincidence.
the very first clients that I had a closing with happened to be people I met through a lender,
Okay.
and I didn't know the lender either. It was a
Really?
referral from out of the area. Got contacted, and they called me up. Not the clients, but the lender.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up talking to each other, and he said, I have these clients. They're coming down to the Hampton Roads area
Mm-hmm.
and need some help. And he had reached out to my broker. I was a very new agent at the time, but very just very adept at like finding out what's going on and being there for the meetings and communicating often. So when he heard that someone needed help, the broker connected us, and then the lender
100%.
talked with me before he ever said, "Hey, I got some people." And then we connected, and then I waited.
Okay.
It takes time for people to warm up to you, even with 100%. A connection.
100%. With that said, how you talk about your broker, how much of an impact do you think that affects clients through who the agent is brokered with? Do you think that's a big impact where it's, for example, let's just say you're with the same person, same agent with the same clients. How much of an impact do you think as an agent who's, you're very analytical, I will tell you, and I love that. How much of an impact do you think that affects the clients when an agent could be with like a Keller Williams or maybe an EXP or like that? How much of an impact do you think the brokerage is on not only how the agent can do their job, but how the agent helps the clients?
You're asking if a brokerage...
How does the brokerage affect the agent? Yes.
Yeah, so that's an interesting and deep question. 'Cause I've lived in the area now for a lot of years.
100%.
In certain areas of Virginia Beach or Norfolk, like they're more prone to have signs from different brokerages in their yard. And I think that's just the more you see it, the more familiar and comfortable you are. And they say those people are the ones that sell properties. Not that they're better, but that they're right there. It's free marketing when you're selling a property, and then if your neighbor's selling property with one brokerage, then you're more likely to go with that brokerage.
Okay, so
just familiarity.
Yes, 100%. Should a client look at that as well? Where, let's say I live in, just say Norfolk, right? And I see a bunch of, maybe like a Berkshire Hathaway signs. Should clients be automatically drawn to that because it's in all these yards? Or do you feel like it's more of test the waters between everything and then go with that one agent?
No, I think for the most part, people only have so much time in their week. And you're lucky to reach out to 2, maybe 3 people for a given thing that you want done, whether it's yard work or getting a new roof, buying a new house, getting a mortgage,
100%,
refinancing. Like, how many times have you tried to buy a place and how many lenders have you gone to shop around?
No, traditionally it was 1 or 2. It's not really a big broad search.
Yeah, so if you already know that your neighbor's going with this person, for whatever reason, you think that person, your neighbor, has researched and gone through a few different people, and then they went with this one.
Yes.
You probably should talk to them and find out if that's the case.
100%.
And make your own analysis. And
okay, so what you're saying is use what's out there, but at the same time do your own analyzing.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to do your own research. Whether your uncle or cousin or friend, if they've used somebody, like that might not, that person might have worked for them. Maybe it doesn't work for you.
Got you. Okay, I think that's a big thing. And we're talking about different, looking at different brokerages and stuff. Kevin, your style of real estate, right? How you do real estate. What do you think there are some things that helps you, stand out? Because obviously, each person has not only their own personality, but I'm more of a laid back agent where I will walk you through the process, but my job is to take that stress off of you, right? When you're doing real estate, what are some things maybe you do that helps you not only stand out, but maybe you do differently compared to other things you see in the market?
Yeah, so just going by reviews I've had from past clients.
100%.
one of the areas that I found that really resonate with people
Mm-hmm.
of my personality is that they find me grounded,
Okay.
where they're emotionally connected and roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there to present the facts and let them make their own decisions.
Okay.
I'm also, like we discussed before, like I'm available.
Yes.
And, whether it's later at night or an all day event, I had people come from out of town and want to see like 15 properties in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for them the whole time, from Norfolk, Portsmouth, Suffolk, and Virginia Beach, as well as Chesapeake. Like all in one day.
Busy guy.
We went all the way
Very
around
busy.
the area. Yeah.
Okay.
So grounded,
Mm-hmm.
available,
100%.
and I, like I've said, I've owned properties.
Mm-hmm. You've been through the process yourself.
I've been through the process myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've rented, I've owned, I've refied.
So you're not only are you experienced on the transaction side, but also being the client side as well.
I have.
And I feel like that, especially for
And I'm not just here for real estate too. Like if someone needs a contractor for whatever reason,
mm-hmm.
like I know people in the area. I make those connections, and I have a list of preferred partners that
mm-hmm.
I'll reach out to, see if they're available, connect them to my clients.
I love that. I do. I am talking about preferred partners for maybe not clients, but other agents who watch. What are some things you look at when you're looking at those partners? Like, what are some maybe traits or maybe the way to do business that makes you go, oh yes, this is what I want as a loan officer I use, or a preferred partner like that. What are some things you look for?
So it all depends on the needs of the client.
Okay.
So with any contractor or preferred partner, like they have a few different areas that they focus on.
100%.
There's the price, there's how quickly they can come in and do the work, and then there's the quality work.
Okay.
And I've been told many times in the past, like, you want to get at least one of those.
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky to get two. Getting all three is like a unicorn.
Okay.
So, but some people, they need a job done like quickly,
mm-hmm.
and the cost doesn't matter. So hopefully it's done well enough. And if you have someone who shows up and, brings a pretty smile, and then, they start doing the work and then they disappear for
mm-hmm.
6 months, like, you don't want that.
So
Nobody wants someone sitting
guy.
in their house expecting the job to be done in like 2 weeks,
right.
and 6 months later you're still waiting for your kitchen sink to work.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
you have to get the job done and move on.
100%. So the quality is a big thing. How much, when you're looking at, like we said, a mortgage officer, whatever you say, a contractor, is it quality over price, or are you willing to work with those people who may be pricier but they have that good quality? Because some people may want, I don't want to say this in a bad way, some people may want it quicker, or are willing to work with that. Are you preferred, I would recommend you using this person who's more qualified and does cost more, or you feel like whatever your needs are?
So
You get that catch-22?
Yeah, I mentioned before, I need to know the client and
mm-hmm.
what their needs are. Like sometimes they need to sell the house like next week and move on to something else. Some people have some time.
Mm-hmm.
So I give them some options.
Okay.
I don't just say, here's the guy to go with,
mm-hmm.
or lady.
Yeah.
Right? It's, here's 3 people that I know personally, who I've worked with personally. Reach out to them, or I'll connect them
mm-hmm.
and see where it leads. And if I can be there to assist them during that process, then all the better. Like I can actually like find out what's going on, and if there is a stumbling block, like I can help them get that moving again.
100%. And going back to we were talking about what should agents look for in preferred partners. What are some things maybe newer agents may not know before, or if they're in the process of joining the industry, that you've learned throughout from starting till now? What are some big things you're like, well, I wish, that would have helped from the beginning type things?
Well, right from the beginning, I thought I could just be a referral-based agent.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a solo agent for a solid year. And I got some great clients.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't always have the paperwork right,
Mm-hmm.
but I had people to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
My brokerage has been amazing. Like, they're always available. I'm always able to get the right answer. Some agents, they think they can do it all alone.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you have been around real estate your whole life, like your parents
Mm-hmm.
have been in lending or
Any part
with
of
real estate, right?
100%.
You still need, like, as you alluded to earlier, like, real estate's always changing.
Yes.
Like, when I started up, the NAR just had their decision
The lawsuit?
with the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had just got my license, and I saw that from the very beginning. And so it was a constant, like, touching base to find out what the latest rules and regulations were with
Mm-hmm.
that. Some agents don't pay attention to any of that. They just plow forward and hope for the best, and that can get them in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, if people are starting out,
Mm-hmm.
they have a good informed team they're working with,
Okay.
or a brokerage that isn't just
There to say, hey, we're here to help.
Yeah, and Virginia is a state or commonwealth where
Mm-hmm.
you need to have a brokerage. You can't be a broker for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Where other states, like, you can be a broker almost right away.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would work, because there's
like
so much that I still need to learn.
Yes, I'm with you. I completely get that. And you're talking about other states. Have you ever thought about, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but for those listening as well, have you put any thought into potentially in the future getting your North Carolina license as well?
I have, yeah. My plan is to, once I hit 3 years in Virginia, to get my broker
Mm-hmm.
license, and hopefully by the end of year 2, I'll be ready, and I'll push for going to North Carolina.
Cool. Awesome.
So that'll give me a little experience before I get the full Virginia brokerage license.
100%. So our clients, they decided to go with you, right? What are some tips do you think you give to your clients during and at the closing, potentially at the closing table, that may be obscure to those who, first time buying a home or they're making a big move? What are some things you're like, hey, be aware of this as you're going through that process of buying a home? What are some things you think you tell them?
Yeah, so even now, we're 6 months after, like, the really high seller's market,
Mm-hmm.
where you had 6 to 10 offerings in one weekend.
Yes.
You put your house up for sale, and the next weekend, like, it's sold.
Mm-hmm.
We're a little bit past that, but still, in a lot of the price ranges, it's still competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are getting to the point where you're thinking that you want to buy,
Mm-hmm.
you need to start getting ready financially.
Okay.
Like, it's not just about not spending on your credit card or
Mm-hmm.
like having that down payment. You need to reach out to, some people are more financially capable,
Mm-hmm.
and so they have cash sitting in hand. But even then, you need to reach out to a financial advisor, have the paperwork ready, so if you do find a property that you want, you can put an offer in that day and not worry about, like, some missing documents, or
100%.
because if you put an offer in and you don't have that pre-approval letter or a letter certifying that you have funds available, it's not your house, and that could be a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Yikes.
So that's one aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Home inspections are, for a lot of people, are an opportunity that, if you can help it, if it's not a multiple offer situation,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, we'll it's as is or buyer beware.
Yeah.
Like if you have the opportunity, inspections provide a wealth of detail and information that.
So you recommend inspections? Because I know there are some agents out there who are like, well, we don't really need it. Let's not use it. Right? Are you a big, obviously it's the client's decision at the end of the day, but how do you feel about those inspections? Is it more of a, do it when you can, or is it like, let's do it unless we don't have to?
All depends on the situation.
Okay.
If we're in the market that we were 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and if you go for the home inspection where, other people are not,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to miss out.
Okay.
But there's ways around that, strategies that you can do where you do a soft inspection. You have a partner who's willing to come out,
Mm-hmm.
do the inspection while you're doing the showing, potentially. Or someone who's savvy as a realtor,
Mm-hmm.
and can go down, look in the crawl space, or, look around, and, there's details that you can see. Even some of the people who are shopping, who are clients, like, they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
They do. A lot of my clients have done their research. They're financially prepared. Like, they're ready, and they see things that even some home inspectors miss.
100%. Okay.
So, home inspections are, like I said, it provides another avenue for information on that property to give you a more informed decision. Okay. So if the opportunity is there, it's just a few $100. Why not take it?
100%. So we've done an inspection, right? Now we're at the appraisal phase, or even we can go condo docs. We can put those together. How impactful for some home buyer situation, anybody who's, may not be aware of, how impactful is the appraisal / condo doc situation to a contract? So I'm buying a home, we've bought the home, we're on a contract, we've done an inspection, now we're at the, that phase of it where we're looking at the appraisal and stuff like that. How much of an impact is that on the entire process of buying a home? In your opinion?
So, two different things there.
100%.
Appraisal. What was the second one?
And like condo docs or anything like that, if I'm buying in a HOA community, stuff like that.
All right. So, two different things there.
100%.
You got the appraisal,
mm-hmm.
and then you got the condo docs. Appraisal is very different from a home inspection. Home inspection is giving you information on the quality of that home in its current state, safety, and foundational.
Okay.
So they're looking in the crawl space. They're making sure that there's no moisture, termite, wood-destroying insect, electrical, water damage, that sort of thing. Making sure the windows and the coating are up to par. The appraisal is giving you a fair market value for that property in that neighborhood based on square footage and current condition, as well as condition of other properties. So it's comparing the property value to other properties in that neighborhood and making sure that for the amount that you're trying to pay,
mm-hmm.
that's what it's valued at.
Okay. Now, how impactful is that appraisal? Let's say if it's above or below, what I want to buy the house for.
Well, if the appraisal's above, then, mm-hmm. That's a dream. Like, you're instant equity right there. If it's below, there is opportunity to potentially get another appraisal.
Okay.
Or you might have to bring money to the table.
Okay.
Because it's not like you can offer $1 million for a $200,000 house, mm-hmm. but a lending institution is not going to give you that extra $800,000.
Okay, so it is pretty impactful then when we get to the appraisal phase. Okay.
And then the documents,
yes.
like, that is real important for the potential buyer to look over and to make sure that they're comfortable with, the fees, the monthly fees.
Mm-hmm.
That can be as much as the mortgage.
It's crazy.
I just looked at one today that was $2,000 per month for condo fees.
You'd be folding my clothes and doing my laundry with that.
So And what are you getting for that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a parking space, or are you getting like lawn maintenance, pool, roof
Mm-hmm.
every couple of years? Like, what is that condo fee giving you besides like a smaller bank account balance?
Right. Okay. So that's just as impactful as the appraisal then too, right? I mean, I feel like those two things are the things you want to look at more. Obviously, the
So,
inspection comes in.
yeah. So all three
Mm-hmm.
of those, that's just another part of the picture to help you decide whether that's the property that you want to invest in and live in, or maybe there's another place down the road that might be more worth your while.
Awesome. Okay, so we're big into that. I like that a lot. We're at closing now. We've done our inspections. Our closing. Then we're here. We bought the house. Is there any tips before closing you may give, or any awareness you may provide to the buyers before closing? Where you as the agent, you may go, oh yeah, be prepared for, obviously, you talk to your loan officer. You have to bring money to the table, whatever the situation is. Is there some things to be aware of, such as maybe risk or anything with becoming to the closing table? Such as, maybe an HVAC, be aware that once this is signed, it's your house. Anything like that you provide to, the buyer at the end.
So the last couple of days before closing,
Mm-hmm.
you always want to do a final walkthrough.
Okay.
And there's potential.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just had a pretty good storm roll through here, not like down in the Caribbean in Jamaica,
Yeah.
but randomly you might have a tree branch fall, hit the house. If things are not in the same condition as the last time that you saw the property,
Mm-hmm.
then there's room for making repairs and changing the closing date to make sure that you're buying the property that you expected to buy.
Okay.
Small fire,
Mm-hmm.
HVAC problems, flooding in the house, like any of those things change the condition of the property.
Okay. So for the close, to come in the day of closing, a big thing is that the condition of the property. A lot of people think, oh, I've gone through the appraisal, done an inspection. Now I get to wait to buy the house, but there's one more spot before that, and that's, I'm guessing, like a final walkthrough.
Final walkthrough.
Okay, and I'm guessing
And
that's
typically we like to do it the day of.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the day prior, but you always have the risk of something happening in the hours or days before you actually close. And then once you sign, it's yours.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we done closed. We done bought the house. Great. How big we'll switch back to the agent side now, that since we've helped the client buy a house. How big is follow-up to maybe newer agents who may not be aware of those? It may not just be a new lead that you're following up with, but a client you helped. How big is that to you in your business, doing that follow-up after, you help the client buy a house?
Yeah. So the clients that I've had so far,
Mm-hmm.
They're part of the family at that point. So I like to maintain a relationship with them.
100%.
Reach out, not a day-to-day thing. I mean, they're
me
not
every
one of
day,
my
"Good
kids,
morning."
but yeah, they're ready to move on, start their new job or, meet their neighbors and stuff. So give them some space, but be there as a resource for them. Couple times a month or once a month,
Mm-hmm. once
a quarter. Anytime you can touch base with them and make sure that the house is as they expected, or
Mm-hmm.
anything that you can help them with.
Okay. So follow-up's very impactful then.
For
Cool.
sure.
I like that. With
Oh,
yes, fire away.
all right. So back to the closing table.
Yes.
I found that, myself included, like when you're actually sitting at the table ready to close, or the final inspection, there's a lot of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You're at the very end of a long roller coaster of emotions, and you have to, as an agent, be there for your clients. And like I said, I try to be the grounded one, but even then, the clients are at the point where they have spent countless hours fretting over this house, that house, putting in offers, getting rejected, putting in more offers, finally getting one accepted, and then going through the home purchase process after a ratified contract. So there's a lot riding, and their nerves hit a wall sometimes.
Okay. So just
So
be really solid.
So try to be solid and just be there for them. Like, let them let out their stress, and you know, it is a big day for them.
I believe it. I do. Yeah, it is. You know, you have clients, they feel all different types. You have the ones who get excited, the ones who get emotional, you know, their first home. So it's definitely, I'm 100% with that, where it's, let me be here for you. Because I've been here, you know, since the beginning, but really right at the end, I feel like I agree with you. It really culminates all into one day.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. And my big thing now is, okay, we've bought the house, right? We've closed, we own the house. How much, on your opinion, now this sort of shifts, but it doesn't. We're going through the process 6, 9 months, 12 months from, let's say we bought the house today, right? What do you think the market's going to be like based off what you've seen? Obviously, it's hard to predict, but what do you think your predictions are in the real estate market from this day, 6 months in the future?
That's a good question.
Like, what are some things you think the client should be aware of, and what do you think personally, obviously your opinion, you think is going to happen to the market?
So we're off the high season of summer and what they typically call the moving season from late spring through August. There's still a lot of houses in inventory, but there's also a lot of buyers. It's slows down, but it's still comparable in number of properties available with the ratio of the seller, of the buyers. The Fed just announced another rate reduction, potential rate reduction in a couple months. But from what I'm hearing from lenders, there's not expected to be too much more of a mortgage rate reduction.
Okay.
There's special programs.
But you think it's flattening out?
It's more or less
dropped a little bit, you know.
It has.
The last one, but
for the most part, it's still mid 5s, maybe low 6s for the rate. There are special programs that might help people, if people are qualified and they're available, that they can see if they can use one of those and maybe get a better rate. But for the most part, you're looking for a while, it's going to be mid 5s to low 6s.
How do you think that's going to affect the market of people buying and selling? You think it's just going to stay where it's at, where it's sort of the equal amount of buyers to sellers, or do you think with the rates at now, do you think people who are holding those 3 to 4 interest rate homes are going to get tired of waiting for interest rates to lower back down, that they're going to end up selling?
No, I mean, this market in the Hampton Roads area, very transitional. There's people who need to move and can't hold on to a property, and they're going to want to sell. And there's people moving to the area who would like to buy a home rather than rent. So there's a lot of movement through this area, and it's likely to continue.
Okay.
I mentioned earlier I bought my first house here in 2005. I still own that property. I turned it into a rental.
So
2005 market was very volatile.
Okay.
That was the peak. A few years later, 2006, 2007, the value of properties dropped. But looking at the value of that property now, it is back. It's well above what I bought it for.
Okay. So do you think it's going to continue to be that way? To where if I'm, like we just talked about how we didn't close on our house, right? Us going through the process, we didn't close. Do you think property values are going to keep on climbing at that same rate? Do you think because, you know, there may be a spike here or there, or what do you think about the future of, let's just say the house we just walked through buying, right? Do you think it's going to have that type of growth like yours did? Or do you think over time it's going to only increase due to development and stuff like that?
I think that you can't predict what's going to happen. And if you try to wait it out, you're likely to not catch it at the right moment. It'll either be at one of the peaks or one of the valleys. But if you're ready to buy a property,
Mm-hmm.
you should probably think about buying a property.
Really? Just
If you're not ready, maybe you want to rent out a place for a year, get financially ready, and then look at buying a property. But it's all family situation.
mm-hmm.
It's all on you to decide when it's right to buy, and be ready. Look around, find the property that you really want, and put an offer in.
So your opinion, obviously I want your opinion. What do you think, let's say I'm looking to buy a house. Should I try to time it, or do you think buy it now and then in 5-10 years it could be potentially worth more instead of trying to time a dip or a jump? What do you think?
I know that most people don't purchase a forever home on their first home.
Okay.
Like they typically live in it 2 to 5 years and then move to another place. Nothing's wrong with buying smaller and stepping up every couple of years.
Okay. So it's better to buy it now and then get that appreciation as soon as possible? Or should I still wait to, oh no, we have a crash market, everything's worth very little?
I think it's worth having a conversation with a lender
Really?
and a realtor
Mm-hmm.
to see where you need to go in the next few months to make sure you're ready if you want to buy.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think it's buying a place right now is for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own circumstances.
100%.
So if that's a goal of yours for this year or next year,
Mm-hmm.
then plan it out and be ready. Don't just go and find a property and put an offer in.
I love that. I love that. You said you still own that property. Is it like a rental?
It is.
Is it? Okay. So we're in the Hampton Roads area, by the way, Virginia. What is your opinion on the investor side of homes right now compared to the residential, or I'm just buying to live in there? Do you think the market is matching the same as the regular residential, where you have just as many developers / investors selling as buying, or do you think that market's going to change at all?
No, this area is great for people buying homes,
Mm-hmm.
to live in. It's also great for people who want to invest, to buy a home, buy another home, continue to
Really?
increase their portfolio, rent out or sell, whatever you want to do. There's opportunity for both.
Okay.
Some people buy, dilapidated houses, fix them up, and then either sell them or rent them. They never move in.
Okay.
And
so especially in this area, tell me if I'm wrong. It's an area where you can either buy to live in, or even if you want to invest, it's a pretty good area to invest in too, correct? Because
It
of
is.
the movement of the military bases and all that. Is that something to be correct to say?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, look, I know you're probably a busy guy, so we're going to call it a day here. But I want to thank everyone listening, of course. I want to thank Kevin. Thank you, man, for coming by and doing this.
You're welcome.
I really enjoy it.
This has been great.
Yes, it is. Yes. Any final tips for new agents or maybe people looking to buy? Anything at all?
Come see me. Let's go have a conversation,
I love it.
cup of coffee.
I love it. I love it.
Let's see what we can do to help each other out.
Awesome, awesome. I'm going to have all Kevin's information in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to him. He's I really enjoyed talking to him. He's great to have on the podcast. And thank y'all for, again, coming and taking a look. And we'll look forward to seeing y'all soon. All right, Kevin. Thank you again.